Hi, it's Tim Holtz and I'm here at Sizzix headquarters. Now, one of my favorite dies that I've designed for Sizzix are the Village series. It's this whole program that allows you to create three-dimensional works of art, these little houses and dwellings that you can decorate. And one thing I'm asked all the time are about the details. What did I do to actually add that little something special to each and every one of those designs? Well, I'm here to share some creative tips and tricks on how to do just that. Did you know you can buy wood veneer? This is actually craft wood veneer from a company called Artcraft. And what's nice is this is adhesive back, so it allowed me just to stick it onto a piece of cardstock and then die cut it using the rooftop die. And here I've just created a shake roof on the bungalow. Stencils are an easy way to create pattern siding. You just start with a piece of cardstock or whatever your surface is. Take a stencil of whatever pattern you want. And here I'm using distressed grit paste. You can also use a texture paste. And simply take a palette knife, apply that right through a stencil. Just spread that out. Now, I prefer just to apply this to the surface and then color it later. This way I can color it to match my project a little bit better. Simply lift off the stencil, and there is that texture pattern. So once that's dry, I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. And here I've created faux bricks all along the side of the bungalow. There are so many types of embossing powders on the market, everything from shiny to textured, thick to thin. So here you can just take a piece of cardstock or your surface, apply clear embossing ink and your embossing powder. Now, one trick is to heat the embossing powder at different intervals. If you heat it longer, it's going to get that glossy finish. If you heat it less, it actually creates a dull texture. Then you can go ahead and cut this out with a rooftop die just to create these cool textured shakes. Another tip is cutting your tiles out of a piece of sandpaper. One of my favorite tips is using distressed woodgrain cardstock to create faux wood siding. This is a unique pre-embossed cardstock that actually has this really detailed wood grain pattern. You can ink it, paint it, stain it, and then simply cut it into strips to adhere to the side of the manor to create faux siding. A great way to add textured snow to your project is using texture paste. Put it into a pastry bag. You can pick these up at the dollar store. And then you simply squeeze this out to create a nice thin line of frosting, really. Add a layer of clear glitter and it gives it a great sparkly finish on this gingerbread house. Add dimensional shimmer to your candy cutout pieces using Glossy Accents. So once you cut out your piece and you color it with paints or markers, you can apply Glossy Accents like we did with the peppermint. And then when it dries, it gives a really great dimensional shimmer. A great idea is to upcycle plastic packaging to use with your steel rule die cuts. Here is just a piece of frosted packaging. Now, if you don't have a piece of this, one suggestion is to sacrifice one of your Sizzix storage envelopes and die cut it. Yes, cut it up, because what it does, it creates these really great frosted icicles that you can adorn any of your villages with. You can mimic a log cabin siding just using a piece of corrugated cardboard. And simple trick is just to take a paintbrush and simply dry brush some white paint. You can go as heavy or light as you want because this is what's going to create kind of that snowy buildup in between the logs. Then you're going to go in and cut this out, and that is what creates this realistic log siding. There are so many different materials you can use with your die cuts, and one of my favorites is just using felt from the craft store. Here we've cut this out to create this snowy top for our village winter scene.